There's a time and a place for a fillet of fish. But breakfast is for sausage biscuits. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What does possibility mean to you?
That's a hard question.
Something that you can strive for.
That I'm able to do anything I set my mind to.
You're confident in yourself and you believe in yourself. Stuff that you could achieve.
I feel excited. Anything is possible when you're more confident.
Shoes are a huge part of that. They are the most important part of my style.
You can express yourself.
In the right shoes, anything is possible.
DSW, countless shoes at brag-worthy prices. Imagine the possibilities.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories, and boy, I'm starting to feel old. They opened up the world's largest time capsule. It was buried in 1975. Dude, I remember 1975. Whatever you put in a time capsule, I probably have some of that stuff in the house. All right, this was in Nebraska. Harold Davison had created the time capsule. His daughter Trish was there as the master of ceremonies, carrying out her father's vision for the grand opening of the time capsule. Inside, stacks of letters and boxes, cassette tapes. I've got some of those in the other room. I can go get them right now if you want to hear them. Pet rocks, remember that? A teal pattern suit. Wait for this. An entire yellow Chevy Vega wrapped in a plastic tarp. I wonder how that held up. You get some money for that. Trish, the daughter, said, "This is the culmination of 50 years of planning on part of my father." There were packages from, I'm going to say, 3,000 people, letters and packages, letters to themselves, letters to the grandchildren, letters to the heirs. So when they opened this thing, it started with a large concrete pyramid, which was sealed over the time capsule as if it was from the pharaohs. They had to remove that with a crane. Now, interestingly, the pyramid was added later on when they found out that this particular time capsule no longer had the world record for biggest time capsule in the world. So they went back and added the pyramid. Stephanie went there and said, "My parents didn't think they'd be here 50 years later to retrieve it with us." She traveled from Colorado to get a cassette tape with a message from her mother and said, "It's pretty special to know that their voices are in there. I haven't heard it in a long time." That's kind of cool. Mr. Davison, who built the thing, had built a ventilation system to prevent mold growth. The daughter said probably 80% of everything put inside was retrievable and intact. Chris showed up from Virginia. He recognized his mother's handwriting and opened a letter that wished him a happy education, career, and life. That is pretty cool. Good news, we captured your wallaby. The wallaby had been on the run for 2 weeks in New York. If I did this story in Australia, you'd be like, all right, a wallaby, whatever. But in New York, yeah, it had escaped from a New York zoo. Dan is the director of the zoo, and he was worried about Mac the wallaby. Dan said Mac had been living her best life, living in the bushes, ignoring food laid out to bait her into traps. A vet was keeping an eye on Mac. Mac back safely now. A 16-year-old boy had been struggling at school and not fitting in due to learning difficulties, so more than 1,000 motorcycle riders escorted the bullied teenager to his prom. The young man wore a one-of-a-kind black suit made by his mom and said, "I never in my wildest dreams imagined this many bikers would be in one place for one person. It's insane. I'm still in shock. I used to say I felt alone, but I don't feel that way anymore." The family expected around 50 bikers to show up, but 1,000 did. They lined up to take photos, shake the young man's hand, pass on some kind words. Others brought birthday cards for him. Mom said the last 3 years were very difficult, but he kept going, did his exams, and now he's all done. The young man has advice saying, with bullies, if you just ignore them and power through, you can expect a great result.
What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? We chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it'll finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, just waiting to be unlocked? Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type, and when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with a free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinesstype.com. That's myhappinesstype.com. It takes just a minute and it might change your life. Then grab your copy of The Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up The Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our Army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
A Danish family has shared on Instagram a new member of their family. It is a wild Eurasian crow. The crow comes and visits them, including the dog, including the cats. But the crow is really there for Otto, the little boy. Yes, Russell the crow shows up. Otto the boy had found the orphaned juvenile bird. Otto's mom and dad couldn't find anyone in the area to rehab the bird, so the family nursed the bird back to health. And over time, the crow grew to trust the family. Now the family now has a young baby, and every now and then the crow comes by and tries to steal the baby's pacifier. And a man has put his father's ashes into the fretboard of his guitar, saying that Dad will still be with me at all the shows. Mark learned to play the guitar from his father, who passed away on Christmas Day of 2022. Dad used to travel hundreds of miles to attend his son's gig. They'd have a beer and catch up. Mark's sister used some of her dad's ashes to make jewelry. That gave Mark the idea of doing the same for his guitar. His friend Sam runs Sam's Guitars. Sam said, at first I was wondering how it would work. Then the more I thought about it, and I did a few test runs on a spare guitar neck I had, and then I realized it wouldn't be too difficult to complete it. Mark said we put some music on in the background, had a couple beers, and made a thing of it. Sam did the work while the shop was shut and was caring and really respectful. I wish Dad was still here, but doing this makes me feel like he's always going to be here with me, and you've always got your memories. This way, he'll still be with me at all the shows, and this has given me a sense of closure. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. If you'd like the program without commercial interruption, feed drops, and the other stuff, go to caloroga.com/plus, or if you're on Apple Podcasts, click the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening, and it'll take you from there. Short version, $5, all that goes away. You have an awesome day.
From Caloroga Shark Media comes Celebrity Trials, the explosive new podcast that exposes the truth behind America's most captivating cases. I'm Reed Carter, and I'll take you inside real-live daily trials and classic celebrity cases where fame, power, and justice collide. From Jeffrey Epstein's billion-dollar sex trafficking empire to the prep school killer who walked free, from family annihilators to celebrity plea deals. Discover the shocking verdicts, twisted evidence, and cultural forces that shape American justice. These aren't just crimes. They're cultural moments that reveal who we really are. Justice isn't always swift, but it's absolutely riveting. Celebrity Trials, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz, a new podcast from Caloroga Shark Media. They built a detention center in the Florida Everglades to separate families and break spirits. Surrounded it with alligators, figured that'd be the end of it. What they didn't count on was Tommy Esperanza, a quiet maintenance worker who turned their bureaucratic nightmare into something extraordinary. While corrupt politicians profited from human suffering and incompetent officials created disasters with PowerPoint presentations, Tommy built an underground network that reunited families, exposed massive fraud, and brought down a congressman. Where the Gators were smarter than the guards, families fought back against systematic cruelty, and one man proved that wisdom beats authority every single time. Alligator Alcatraz. Available wherever you get your podcasts.